Welcome to the video lecture on setting up reports in Microsoft Access. This will be the last task that you will be required to do to submit your project. Reporting should be based on queries, at least some of them. So for instance, I could click on the student, so that this works very similarly to the way we did forms. And you should have been creating forms before you got here. So just like a form has an auto form, reports has an auto report button. So if I click and highlight the student table and I go up to these report buttons, the very first report button will create a basic report based on the table that you have selected. So if I click report, boom, here is my report on students. Okay. Since again, I don't want you going crazy with learning the intricacies of creating reports, that again is beyond the scope of this course. I simply want you to realize that this is now a printable report. The only problem with it is that again the wizard or the functionality in Microsoft Access to create this has made it too wide. Notice that there is a vertical dotted gray line that actually goes through registered date. So that means anything to the right of that will show up on page 2. You should be familiar with that from setting up Word and stuff like that. So you'll see that although it is really quick and easy, the problem is that the column headers would need to be fixed. You probably don't need to actually display student ID in some cases, since that's an automatically generated number. In every report, you may not want to show the registration fee, things of that nature. So you can create reports for some of your tables, but what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking for reports based on queries. So I can close that, and I'll leave that as the student report. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing for queries. So you should have some queries set up in your database. And when you have a couple of queries set up, again, just click on the auto report when you have that query highlighted. And here's a report showing me my students and their enrollments. When you're doing this, probably when you're setting up the query, you probably shouldn't be pulling in data from the enrollment table like I am. That's the associative entity. Obviously, I don't need to show that, but some of the queries that you have created, you might want, you're going to want to make reports for. So I'm going to want to see those reports created. So if you have a good number of queries that answer some good questions, then use the auto report button and create reports for them. Again, I'm not going to go into how to, change the structure of these, change them from landscape to from portrait to landscape, how to eliminate controls or move controls around. That's really beyond the scope of this course. If, however, you want to learn more about Microsoft Access, certainly send me questions. We can get together and I can show you different things. If you're interested in pursuing Microsoft Access, because I find Microsoft Access to be a very, very powerful tool when used properly. So that would be the last thing that you would need to create, is a number of reports for your project. And then after that, you would send it to me, and hopefully I will be able to give you your final grade for the project. So that is the end. Of course, I'm going to close it and save it. So that is the end of the video tutorial on creating reports in Microsoft Access.